Hello Aries, let's see some major messaging over here. Reconciliation very soon. I mean, it just really goes without thinking, except it's going to go with lots of thinking in this particular month. You're getting a thinker, card number 44. So here is your master number. This one is really big and it's really, really important. So it is really asking of you to really think through things that are coming your way, whether or not somebody's returning or you're still dealing with some kind of issues, because reconciliation can actually mean lots of things. Sure enough, it's a go-to that somebody's going to come and knock on your door after all. And I think that's going to be pre-Valentine's, because we are pre-Mercury retrograde, and those 3 weeks where Mercury kind of like looks like it's standing still are going to be really, really important over here. So I really think that some of you might be suffering from, analysis paralysis. It's going to be really difficult to figure it out in which direction to go and how to do it, right? It is really important to kind of like really spend enough thought, because you're like such an action sign, you're such activity sign, right? And the ability to reason and strategize is really, really important right now. So take things at face value and follow the logical path, because your calculations will prove to, if your calculations prove to be correct, then you're going to see that there is not such thing as deeper meaning. There is no such thing that things are going to work out again when they didn't work out. It is really important to know that, it's like a button on a sweater. It's going to hold it together if it's properly applied. If it's loose, sooner or later it's going to go off, right? You do guys have information that you need. You do have that intuition that you need, but still use your brain. I know that you're like action oriented, you're fire sign, action kind of like energizes you, but you're going to be a little bit of air. You will actually make this very strategic decision. It's going to be, look, have been there, I didn't like where I was, I felt like I was in some kind of dark, I felt like I was a little bit kind of like taken with everything, didn't know where I was going, I felt a little bit maybe shunned, pushed away, but everything will work out. No, don't do it. It's not going to work out. That's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. Nope, and no. So you're getting also Rune of the Divine. It's called Ansuz, but it came reversed because it's like this F, and it's not the F word in this particular case, but this one is still referring to the power of speech. So when it comes reversed, it can speak about you getting sick. It could be something with throat connected, laryngitis or something, or a flu, or something where you'll be coughing or having that kind of issues, right? But also because it's such a powerful connection with words, just be very careful about what you say. Hence the strategy, hence thinking through, hence the door is really not open for you. I want to be with you, but let's talk, kind of a thing. Let's put everything on the table and see where we are. When you kind of like play that way, when you're serious, when you don't jump into the fray, people will realize maybe they pushed too far, or maybe things went too long. And even if you have nobody right now, you will actually almost like come to that executive decision and going to say, for too long I didn't feel right, and it is really time for me to get inspired, to be joyful, to kind of like really work through it. And it's going to be thinking how to get there, how to not to repeat the same thing. Sometimes people I say it like they play this game of love with sweaty palms, meaning every partner is the right partner. Oh, come on, right? Or you fight for something that is not even a million kind of like years going to work, and you know it very well. So don't push with your head through the wall, right? But also be very careful that you might also have problems with people who are older generation over here, especially when traveling. You might also expect some kind of delays as well, and especially that somebody who is older will want to school you, and they will be absolutely wrong, that wrong. So this is kind of like one of those weird situations. You know they're wrong. They're expecting you to do that. You're thinking it through. See, because maybe you can say, well, never mind. It's not a big deal. I can handle it. Fly by me. But this is one of those crucial points where you're shifting that wheel of karma, that wheel of destiny. You're dialing it. So, you know, did you ever, are you as old as I am, that you had this phone and you had to kind of like push the button? And if you're millennial, you have no freaking clue what I'm talking about. And then you would release and it would go down. Then you would pick another number, you would circle. So it's going to feel like that you're going to kind of push it, but then you need to release. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But you do have an ability to say no. That no might be a soft no, but nonetheless, it is really time to kind of like really figure things out. So 44, very, very important to understand. And just think of it. Don't use the F word this particular month, because in fact it's going to push that karmic wheel on a different level. So that's going to work really well for you. So let's see the Celtic cross and let's see what else we can discover this month. Hello Aries, and let's see what this basically brings us. This is really weird. This keeps coming through it. This keeps coming out. So I'll be telling your cards as we come out. First of all, you have the moon in basically the background. The moon actually does belong to Pisces. So whether or not you've been dealing with Pisces, or if you have been going through maybe a situation where you really don't know if you see what you see and you need to go and double check and triple check and get this extra vision to really know the direction where you're heading. It kind of like sounds to me, given that you actually do have lots of majors over here showing, that maybe the essence of, look at here, the kitty looking from this terrible snow, and I don't know where you guys are, but we have this tremendous cold polar vortex over here in Toronto with 3 feet of snow. Well, maybe not 3 feet of snow, but it was so much that now you see this like big, you know, snow piles on the sidewalks and on the streets. So it's kind of like hard to get anywhere. And it's so cold, with 2 sets of gloves, you still kind of get these frostbites. So this is kind of like not a situation where you want to be stuck in, whether it is figuratively or metaphorically. So there is like, look at this beautiful fireplace, and we know how much kitties like to see those fireplaces, and these 2 kitties inside are snuggling with each other. They have a food and everything, and they're looking at this like poor fellow outside. Maybe to some extent you kind of felt you have been rendered in that situation, that somebody was not taking good care of you, which kind of was an interesting thing, because you did get fire kitten, which is clearly you. It is kind of go, go, go kind of a thing, wanting to do things. But it really tells me that something that you have been doing has been a little bit reckless. This is your card, the Emperor, especially for the Aries born in April. It really tells me that you thought that something is going to result in control, but it didn't. You thought that something is going to maybe even culminate in ability to, let's put it this way, to maybe end up in a commitment, maybe even end up in sort of like meeting of the minds. But instead, everything that I see over here feels like, you know, I don't know what the hell am I doing kind of a thing. You almost like feel like, I wish that one day I can resolve certain issues. I wish I can throw the money at it, or you know, I can just be a nice person, and just like, is this too much that I'm expecting to get back? It is really telling me that it's almost, and I don't know why, it kind of like does have a tint of Mercury retrograde, even though it isn't. It almost like feels like just as we can see it here and here. You're kind of tired of being on the sidelines. You're tired of not getting, I would not even say respect or reputation. It almost looks like you kind of don't care about that. It more looks like that you really don't want to have these tricky situations. Look at that. In one of them, there's like sort of explosion that everybody has to look for cover. In the other one, this kitty, as you can tell, it's completely fed up. I'm not part of it. You guys fight. I'm leaving. I'm off. I'm going. And it's really, really showing to me that, especially those of you who maybe have a partner that you're still inquiring about, that's something that honestly really didn't work out, that somebody did let you down. There is like this returning back emotionally and wondering, do I really want to fight for it? And how do I want to move it forward? What do I really want to do, right? The Strength card is always telling about, you know, finding a better pieces of who you are, finding in how to move forward, what you are doing, and in which direction you really want to go. And I really think it's a nice representation, because this is really, really hard to resist, and this doesn't come naturally. It really talks about maybe finding a new skill. Maybe there's like something that is not as quick to go to. You know, we all sometimes jump into action, and you guys are the really, really action sign, right? But sometimes you need to run for a cover. Sometimes you need to kind of like figure out that maybe a situation is like so tangled up that you cannot untangle it. There is that saying in my language that what one crazy person tangles up, like million of smart ones cannot detangle it. So keep that in mind. And you did see that yarn and wool that, you know, is tangled up, or try to resolve all these chains mangled up together. That's kind of one of those situations. You're just seeing futility of everything that is here coming in play, and you just kind of like have enough. It's enough. You don't care, you don't want, and so on and so forth. Then there is like Sky Kitten. Sky Kitten, as playful as the Sky Kitten is, it's really getting to this point of, my goodness, I really don't know how to do it and what to do it. And generally, because this is falling in your area over here, that really talks about the environment, so hence the other people that are coming toward you, it can talk about that somebody's keeping an eye on you. Somebody's like, you're really thinking that somebody's gone, but somebody isn't gone, right? Remember the cards that we had here, very soon. Oops. And reconciliation. They're like somebody who is lurking in the shadows, and I can see it here. This is especially important to understand that it's not going to be before you decide to move on. It's not going to be before you decide to, you know, I need to kind of like chase my own happiness, because what I have, where I am right now, it's not necessarily my definition of happy. So combine this like with Thinker, and combine this like this with the Rune of Divine, right? Just, I think this month you really need to make sure that you're not saying too much, that you're like really saying just enough. It is not enough to make extra fine point. Make a point, or don't make anything at all. And guess what? It's almost like a child psychology. All of a sudden they're intrigued. All of a sudden they want to know. All of a sudden, like, I mean, they're knocking on your door, but at this stage you're wondering what to do. This card is telling, make a decision. Sometimes it is the decision between your heart and between your mind. And some readers will tell you, follow your heart. But not this reader. I'm going to tell you, and this is a master number, to repeat this again, follow your mind. Follow what makes sense. Because you still need to reassess that it was something that made you think that you do not belong. It was something that you felt you need to deserve. It was somebody who kind of like pushed you in a territory that you didn't feel the king of your own kingdom, that you didn't feel, hey, you know, I really want to be here, I feel here at home. In fact, you really felt that almost like you somehow need to earn things. So I don't know if you were in the doghouse, if you were kind of like doing some kind of shenanigans, or maybe somebody is just simply tired of you, waiting for you guys to grow up, or maybe it wasn't your time, because I do feel that this is a time for you for commitment. It's time for you to decide in which direction to go, who you are staying with, because almost like, if you can notice, these two are almost the same. They're showing the same scene, except here they were still looking and negotiating what to do next, and then puff, you know, it was just like simply they overstayed their welcome. And then also you have the Earth Queen underneath here. So it could be for those of you who are in a relationship that certain things are just simply off and they need readjustment. So clearly here with the Thinker card is saying, you know, kind of like spend some time, this particular time, to understand that love is not logical, that's for sure, right? But when you choose a partner, it's kind of like good to have things in common other than, you know, just being a complete exploration and making it work, right? So this is going to be time for you to weigh pros and cons over here. And if there is going to be enough common ground, remember this decision, just go for it. If not, well, there are always other fish in the sea, as they say. Don't force it to work. And if others tell you who they are, if they show you who they are, you know, take them at their word. Take them at their action. So now it's really not the time to indulge in any kind of fantasy, because no matter what, in this case, just simply facts are the facts. So I do have one more card that I pulled for you, interestingly enough. The card is called Rescue, but it came reversed. So this is to seal your reading, guys, and if you want a private reading with me, check me out on cattarot.ca. Also underneath over here you will see my email, my Facebook, everything. And just to let you know that only people who are on my newsletter list or my subscribers are going to get oracle messages from now on. So it's kind of like benefit also to get a little bit benefit of my coaching. So let me read this one for you. Are you trying to rescue another? Do you believe your love can change someone and miraculously heal this person? Or are you waiting to be rescued? Do you believe that someone will sweep you off your feet and take away all of your troubles? Reversed, the rescue card cautions you against romanticizing your situation right now. Look closely and see reality as it is, rather than the illusion on how you'd like it to be. You need to step back and rescue yourself. Trust that Spirit will guide you to expose the illusion so that you may discern the difference between truth and fantasy. So guys, don't put somebody on a pedestal anymore. You need to apply some logic. You need to apply what works, what doesn't work over here. So even if you reconcile with somebody, and if this comes really soon, don't let that be yet another opportunity to somebody to just like take away your stability and take away from you who you really are. Because after all, you know, you did walk away. It looks like you were the one who walked away because you just like didn't feel fulfilled. You didn't feel stabilized. You didn't feel you had control in the situation. So remember that. Don't idolize things, because things tend to repeat until we learn them. So my dear Aries, you know where to find me. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Would like to hear your comments. Would like to hear what you have to say. And I would like to know that you're getting out of that darkness. So all the best. And you know that I love you.